See, if you could talk a little bit, man, about specifically leadership, because I think people, they really have a misunderstanding of leadership. They think like leadership, I got to be always the man out front. Like, and you've talked about it. Like, you've presented for the mayor since 5th grade. Like, you were just as much as somebody who can be the front line, but you choose to be like what you call support person, but still a leader nonetheless. Can you talk about like the type of confidence and just that style and swag that you got to have to really say, you know what? I'm going to stand behind and push the message because this is more meaningful.
Yeah, you know what? I think I didn't know that at first. Like, I just thought me and E were going to wax deep side by side forever. And then I saw that there was another need. And how I'm wired, Moose, I'm not wired for credit. I'm wired to get the job done. And I've always been like that. Like, I've never been one that was like, I need to be in the lights and I always just wanted to do whatever it took to help the team win. And so we had a gap, right? So obviously Carl, who many of you know, was there and he was down to, do the videography and, he would take pictures and do the audio and everything we needed. He was speaking. Well, there was nobody in that gap who could say, okay, let's get a plan. Let's be strategic. Let's move this thing. Let's make it into something. And so I kind of stepped behind the scenes and I love it now, Moose, because like even when I'll speak at our conferences and stuff like that, people will come up to me and be like, man, you're a great speaker. You shouldn't be nervous about speaking. You've been behind the scenes for so long. And I'm like, y'all have no clue that I've been speaking since I was born. Like, I've had this gift since I was young. I chose to go behind the scenes, right? I chose to be the man behind the man because that was the job that was needed. It was never about the credit. We already had a dynamic speaker, right? I say all the time, having Shaq on your team is sweet. Having 2 Shaqs, not so much. Somebody got to be Kobe. And so I was willing to go, hey, I'll be Kobe. I'm not tripping. I'll be Kobe and I'll go over here and do what I'm supposed to do. And so that was always the goal, was what's best for the team? How do we get to the next level? And unfortunately for me at that time, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, it was me going behind the scenes. And so now Nicky laughs at me about not having social media. Nicky, I had social media. I had Facebook. But you know what? I said all of these things are distracting me from doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is pushing ET to be a household name. That was our number one objective. Me having social media at the time was taking my focus away from that goal. And so I said, you know what, let me just get all the way locked in. And I got rid of social media for years. And now that I could probably have it back, I got so used to, I love it. You get some people who not on social media, Nicky, and they got like an attitude like, oh, I'm too good for social media. Yes. That's not me at all. I actually love social media. Social media has done incredible things for our company, our brand, our business, everything. I'll be honest. I just got so used to surviving and thriving without it in my role that I haven't figured out how to kind of transition back. And I'm kind of nervous because I've always been like behind the scenes in terms of like pushing E. And now that there's a demand for me to be on social media, and I get it, like, yo, we've been able to do some incredible things. And I know people want to hear from me. It's just about me saying, okay, how do I still maintain the number one goal and try to, do this thing? I never got in this to brand myself. I never got in this to have a bunch of followers for me. That was never the goal. And so I still haven't really figured out how to connect those two paths, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, we're still going to work on getting C on social media, though. You know what I mean?
We're working on it. It's definitely necessary. And again, I'm a ghost on social media, right? So like I can still log into E stuff. Nicky mentioned I love going on Twitter. I love watching inspirational stuff. I love checking out Nicky and Moose and Toby and everybody else who rocks with us. I go see what the whole squad is doing. I totally get it. It's a necessary evil for a lot of people. And then sometimes, in Nicky and Moose's case, they take it and they just go crazy with it. Part of my other excuse now, Nicky, is I'm so old. I promise you, I'm so outdated. I'm like, man, I'm going to have my son teach me how to use Instagram. It's hard, Nicky. It's like a full-time job. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. So I'm working on it, though. We got the podcast Instagram. Go follow us there.
We do. S2S Podcast. We'll get into that.